are Locked On Lakers Postcast, part of Locked On Sports Los Angeles, on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What a win for the Los Angeles Lakers, 112-107. The Lakers play their best quarter of the season. Anthony Davis plays arguably his best game of the season, and yet the Lakers still have to battle to hold on to get a win. We talk about it all on the Locked On Lakers Postcast. I'm Dave Pallay. Thanks so much for joining me tonight. Big win for the Lakers in Charlotte. We'll get into all that in just a little bit, but again, a lot going on with the Lakers, as there always is. A lot to be excited about, but first let's mention the people over at FanDuel. Right now, Super Bowl 59, it's here in a couple of weeks. One game, two teams, endless possibilities, and there's no better way to make every play even more exciting with FanDuel, the sportsbook. Look, the transition to going from NBA to NFL, it's always exciting, and at the same time, when we talk about sports, right now there's nothing bigger than what's going on in Super Bowl 59, whether it's predicting the first touchdown, calling the MVP, or even being part of the coin toss. FanDuel makes it all possible. It's very easy. Again, FanDuel, the official sportsbook partner of Super Bowl 59. So here we go right here, talking about the Lakers, and the Lakers get a big win tonight, and the Lakers continue to win, and right now they're playing very good basketball. Not perfect basketball, they're playing very good basketball. Again, going to take your comments throughout the show, but I appreciate you joining me as the Lakers travel to Charlotte to take on the Hornets. Now, at the same time, you look at this Hornet team and you go, okay, well, you have LaMelo Ball. He's the fourth leading scorer in the NBA. LaMelo Ball, unfortunately for them, he was injured in the second quarter and didn't play very much. Sprained ankle. Could be a certain amount of time that he's out. That really takes a big shot at what they're trying to do. Also, you've heard that he's been rumored in trade talks. So the fact that he's injured isn't good for him as well. We all know Brandon Miller, the young player out of Alabama. Brandon Miller isn't able to play. He's gone for the year with a knee injury. I was looking forward to seeing Brandon Miller and the Hornets this year, just because, just on a personal note, I went to school with Brandon Miller's mom. We grew up together, and so I was kind of one of those guys that's a big Brandon Miller fan and wanted to see how he, developed in the NBA throughout his career. But here we are early on, and he suffers a knee injury. So good news for the Lakers. They're playing a Hornets team that doesn't have two of their best players, and going to go, how's this going to work? Like, we all know it's a long flight. We all know the Lakers had two big emotional wins against Boston and the Golden State Warriors on national TV. What kind of team would we see against the Hornets? And you say, well, we know how this usually works as fans, right? We don't expect a lot because the Lakers often will play down to their opponent. Lakers coming into this game, they're 12-1 against teams with a losing record. Obviously, that number's now improved. The Lakers are at 9-12 on the road heading into this game. So the Lakers struggle on the road at times. So here's the deal. The starting five for the Lakers: Anthony Davis, Dorian Finney-Smith, again playing for Rui, who's not in the starting lineup and not even dressed in uniform because he has the same injury that bothered him against Golden State, which is the hip injury. He should be back tomorrow night against the 76ers. Austin Reeves, Max Christie, LeBron James, there's your starting lineup. Now, the quarter in the first was awesome. Now, if you're one of those people that weren't able to catch this Laker game at the beginning, and unfortunately the game starts at 4 and you're still at work or you're stuck in traffic, I recommend you go back and watch the first quarter. The first quarter was the best quarter of the season for the Lakers. Maybe the best quarter I've seen from the Lakers in years. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of energy, a lot of excitement. And it reminded me a lot, dating myself, of the Magic Johnson days when Pat Riley used to coach, where it was one of those, grab the ball and let's go. And every team wants to get out and run, but not everyone's able to get out and run and be successful at it. And for the Lakers, man, they were out and they were running and they're making solid passes and they're scoring and they're playing solid defense. Everything was working perfect for the Lakers. So if you missed it, the Lakers jumped out to an 8-0 lead and they added on to it to make it 15-2. And then again, it was 21-5. Max Christie found Anthony Davis on a cool alley-oop to make it 21-5. 5:19 remaining, 24-5. Dorian Finney-Smith, who's the last Lakers starter to score, he drills a basket, and the Lakers are off and going. And you're going, this is the perfect game for the Lakers to have a back-to-back road games, which is always tough in the NBA because tomorrow, of course, they place the 76er team that is going to be ready for the Lakers with their best effort. This is the kind of game that's going to start out where, hey, maybe the Lakers can rest a bunch of these starters in the fourth quarter. So everything's going the Lakers' way. Everything. All right. 26-5. It's the Lakers have made 9 straight field goals. Pretty amazing. Guess what? It got even better. 29-6. Lakers made 10 straight field goals. It got even better. 31-9. Lakers are leading. They made 11 straight shots. 11. Awesome. Okay. Guess what? It gets a little bit better. They make their 12th straight shot. They go up 33-12 on an Anthony Davis basket. AD finally missed a jumper. Otherwise, the team made 12 straight shots. It was awesome. So if you missed the game, as I said, go back and find the first quarter and watch it from beginning to end. You'll love it. If you're a Laker fan, this is the kind of basketball you dream of. This is when you think in your mind, because a lot of times you go back going, is my memory better that the Lakers weren't always as good as I thought? Or is it one of those, the Lakers were as good as I thought back in the days with Kobe and Shaq and Magic and Kareem and Worthy? And guess what? This was one of those games in the first quarter. It did not disappoint. It was awesome. It was so great. It was exciting. And you're like, when's this going to stop? And you hope it never stops. But the Lakers were rolling. Everything they did was great. The defense was great. That they were fast. There was a lot of emotion. Again, reminded me of the Laker teams in the 80s, the way they pushed the ball up the court, pushed it towards the basket, took the ball out of the basket, off the rim, whatever. But guess what? The fans in Charlotte loved it too. Not just Hornet fans. We know how it is. When you travel and you're a Laker, there are a ton of Laker fans in the crowd. You could hear them. And the fact that the Laker fans were there that get to see this team maybe once a year, and ticket prices are always expensive. I think the cheapest seat I could find before the game, just looking, was around $130. And otherwise, people spend a lot of money to watch this Laker team, and they put on a show. Anthony Davis led the Lakers in the quarter with 21 points, 11 rebounds. LeBron James, he had 4 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists. You're thinking at that point, hey, maybe LeBron's going to get a triple-double tonight. Listen to the shooting for the Lakers to show you how great it was. Lakers shot 72% from the field, 50% from three-point range. Absolutely insane. The Hornets, on the other hand, they struggled. Who cares about the Hornets, right? We care about our Lakers. The Lakers need to take care of business. The Hornets shot 30%, 38% from three-point range. Lakers out-rebounded the Hornets 17-7. Lakers had 11 assists. Hornets had 7. And the bench points, the only stat the Lakers didn't do well on, Lakers had 0 bench points. Hornets had 10. Otherwise, it was almost a perfect quarter for the Los Angeles Lakers. And everything is rolling, okay? So at the end of one, Lakers have a 20-point lead, 39-19. And there's a ton of talk that even though the Hornets stink, that the Hornets defense holds teams under 30 points per quarter. And for the Lakers, they got over 30 in the first quarter, scoring 39. Things are looking pretty good for this Laker team, right? All you have to do is keep it moving. Let's keep things moving. A couple players weren't able to play. As I mentioned, Rui wasn't able to play. Gabe Vincent wasn't able to play. But at the same time, we know you got Jared Vanderbilt back, even though he's on a minutes restriction. And you want to see Dalton Knecht continue his hot streak. Can the Laker bench players find a rhythm, get things going? Again, Dorian Finney-Smith has been in the starting lineup the last 2 games. The Lakers have looked pretty good. Is that something that we see? It's been a lot of talk for a long time about Dorian Finney-Smith, about what is his role, and are the Lakers a better team if he's a starter? And at the same time, Rui, does he deserve to lose his starting spot, being a guy that's been a starter basically his entire time since joining the Lakers? So again, Lakers lead at the half. Okay, it was one of those where it got a little bit nerve-wracking, but the Lakers lead at the half, and they barely led at the half. And you go, how can that be? Lakers had a 20-point lead in the first quarter. It's because the Hornets outscored the Lakers 32-20 in the second quarter. Lakers fell apart. They couldn't keep it going. Lakers led by as many as 23 points at one point, but the Hornets cut it down to 14. J.J. Redick called a timeout. LaMelo Ball left the game at that time with an ankle sprain, tripping over Jared Vanderbilt's foot. And then with 4:39 remaining in the quarter, the Hornets cut the lead down to 13. 3:05 remaining in the quarter, Hornets cut the lead down to 11, and then eventually 8. And you're going, my goodness, man, what is going to happen with this Laker team, and why does this happen to the Lakers? Why do they play basketball that makes them fall apart? So very frustrating. Lakers again with 59 points at the half, and at the same time, you look at what the Charlotte Hornets did, because they outscored the Lakers 32-20 in the corner. They had 51 points, and so that's a game. It's a game, but at least maybe it's one of those where you go, it's a wake-up call for the Lakers as well. It's a wake-up call for the Lakers to say, we got to pull it together. You got to come out in the third. You got to come out and play great basketball. And at the same time, what was JJ Redick saying to these guys? What was happening to this team to possibly make a difference? Well, we'll talk about all that in just a second. Again, want to mention the people over at FanDuel. Again, I will get to your comments as well. Appreciate you joining me. Again, Super Bowl 59 is here. One game, two teams, endless possibilities, and there's no better way to make every play more exciting than the FanDuel Sportsbook, whether it's predicting the first touchdown, calling the MVP, or even betting on the coin toss. FanDuel makes it easy to get in all the action. With live betting all game long, you can adjust your bets as the game unfolds and feel the thrill of the kickoff to the final whistle. Again, live betting features lets you get involved in the action, what happens on the field. The app makes it super easy to navigate, plus knowing that you can place $5 on a bet and potentially win $200 in bonus bets for the Super Bowl. That's icing on the cake. Now, here's the deal. Download the app, FanDuel.com, to get started. Just bet $5 and you can win. Look, you'll score $200 in bonus bets. That's FanDuel.com. Bet with FanDuel, the official partner of Super Bowl 59. All right. So for the Lakers, again, an exciting time, but again, nerve-wracking time for this team. For this Laker team, what does it mean, and what are they going to do in the third quarter? What does JJ Redick say to these guys at halftime? What does he say to rally these guys? And at the same time, we know Anthony Davis is having a great game, but it can't just be Anthony Davis. You got to figure they're going to make an adjustment, meaning the Hornets against this Laker team. Well, disappointing. Lakers did not play fantastic coming out, and it was frustrating. So to set the ground of where we were, Lakers were led at the half. Anthony Davis had 23, 12 rebounds. Austin Reeves, he had 13 points, 5 assists. LeBron had 7 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists. So LeBron only had 7. So when we talk about who else is going to help Anthony Davis, you know LeBron's going to do better than 7 points. If you're a fan of the Lakers, or your chance to say it's the only time the Lakers come to town in Charlotte, you know LeBron's going to be better than 7 points. He's going to put on a show. Josh Green, Miles Bridges led the Hornets with 9 points apiece. Lakers shot 56% from the field, 29% from three-point range, made 4 of 14. So a big change in stats happened for the Lakers from the first quarter to the second quarter. Hornets got better, 40% from field goal range, and they're 8 of 20 from three-point range. So they made 40%. Rebounds, Lakers 25, Hornets 15. Assists, both teams had 14. Bench points, this is where the Lakers, when you talk about trades, this is what you think about right here. Bench points, Hornets outscored the Lakers 19-6. Turnovers, Lakers had 10, and it got much worse. We'll get into that. Hornets only had 6. And points off turnovers, Hornets had 13, Lakers had 12. Points in the paint, Lakers, of course, with Anthony Davis, Lakers had 32-18. So they did a pretty good job. Third quarter, we move on to that. And again, this is, you hope things are going to go the Lakers' direction. Now, here's the deal. Lakers win the quarter 27-26, but didn't start off great. 7:05 remaining in the third quarter. Hornets cut the Lakers' lead down to 6. They have momentum building. And it sounds crazy to say when you see a team that doesn't have a bunch of superstars playing against a team that has a bunch of superstars, that the Hornets all of a sudden have momentum. Anthony Davis, after 3, had 36 points, 18 rebounds. Pretty amazing. LeBron James, as we just said, you knew he was going to come out in the second half and be better. He had 7 in the first half, scored 10 by himself in the third quarter. But the Lakers, again, struggling. So here's the number the Lakers have, right? They're 19-4 when leading at the half. But at the same time, they have quarters that they take off during the game where things just don't seem right. And for me watching, and if you watch the Lakers rotation, I always find it interesting how different coaches take care of superstars' minutes. If you look at LeBron will start the game, usually come out with about 5 minutes, 6 minutes remaining in the first quarter. LeBron will sit, and then he'll come back in the second. And then Anthony Davis, though, will play the entire first quarter. So you got to think, by playing Anthony Davis the entire first quarter, you're very much getting him for limited amount in the second quarter. And is that the best way to attack? I mean, obviously the team is at its best when you have Anthony Davis, LeBron, Austin Reeves on the floor at the same time. Obviously you can't do that for the entire game, but at the same time, it looks like the second quarter, we've seen this, that maybe it's be better off of Anthony Davis instead of playing the entire first. And maybe it's a health thing where Anthony Davis is, once I get warm, I want to stay that way. But it seems like Anthony Davis, when we're watching these Laker games, we're watching way too often in the second quarter where we're waiting for Anthony Davis to come back in the game. Everybody's thinking the same thing. When's Anthony Davis coming back in the game? And it seems like damage is always done. So God forbid the Lakers have a bad first quarter. Anthony Davis is already spent because he played him 12 minutes in the first. You could lose a game in the first half if you're the Lakers because you burned your superstars down to the ground, and the timing seems kind of weird, So if you remember the way Phil Jackson used to do it, he would basically have the players play till about 4 minutes, 3 minutes remaining in the quarter. They would finish the quarter out on the bench. Then, of course, you get the in-between time between quarters. Then you start on the bench for 2 to 3 more minutes. You're rested, and then you're back in basically all the way to halftime. For the Lakers, that's not what J.J. Redick feels is best. Again, I don't know if it's the plan that's going to work overall, but when we're all sitting here looking at the television, or if you had a game in person, you're just thinking in your mind, we need Anthony Davis to come back in the game because this team is completely different when Anthony Davis isn't available. Moving on to the fourth quarter, Lakers, they struggled. Okay, so the Hornets came out on fire in the fourth quarter. They cut the lead down to 2. With 10:46 remaining in the fourth quarter, the Hornets cut the lead down to 2. At that same time, I wasn't thinking Lakers are going to lose this game, but in my head, I'm going, man, my perfect scenario was for the Lakers to get a chance to rest guys getting ready for the 76ers tomorrow night. Well, that's out. That's out. The game plan's out the window. Now you're just thinking the best scenario is just get a win. And if these guys are spent and they don't have their best effort tomorrow night, it's because they couldn't close this game out soon enough. 4:46 remaining. The Lakers extend their lead to 13. All right, they got a little bit hot. Of course, Max Christie's 4-point play was the difference right there. With 4:46 remaining in the game, Max Christie got fouled, drilling a three-pointer. He makes the free throw, and that was big for the Lakers. Again, when they're up by 13 with 4:46 remaining, you're going, things are going to be okay. Well, guess what? 3:23 off a Lakers turnover. The Hornets cut the lead down to 106-98 on a Miles Bridges three-point shot with 107 remaining. Dorian Finney-Smith drives the lane for a monster dunk. It was one of the plays of the year. It was awesome. So the Lakers go up 110-104. Again, that's a minute 7 remaining in the game. And again, 13.3 seconds remaining. This game still hasn't been decided. The Hornets cut the lead down to 110-107 on three free throws. That was really a questionable call. Anthony Davis, number one, got the ball stripped, which is frustrating. But two is he argued he didn't foul him, said he got all ball. Doesn't matter. What the referees say is what's going to count in that situation. And for the Lakers, they're holding on. So, again, it's with 13.3 seconds remaining, it's 110-107. The Lakers end up closing this thing out. Thank goodness, 112-108, and they get the win. They get the win, and it's a big win tonight for the Lakers because they got to roll, but also you got to beat the teams that have these losing records, the teams that don't have any star power. As we mentioned, LaMelo Ball not playing, Brandon Miller not playing, and it's the Hornets. The Hornets stink. The Hornets are one of the worst teams in the league. You can't have a situation like that. LeBron James finishes 22 points, made 9 to 17 shots, 7 rebounds, 8 assists. Solid night for LeBron. But this was Anthony Davis's night. And so I'm curious to know what you think about Anthony Davis and as far as what he does for this team when healthy, what he's capable of doing. It's frustrating that he's had games this year where he's not there. And we've seen the game when they were in Miami, and we've seen Anthony Davis do this in the past. We've also seen times where Anthony Davis gets injured, and you're like, well, how long is he out? Because the team's not the same without him. So a lot of talk about his durability. Also at the same time, until the trade deadline passes, we're going to be talking about what can you do for help. Anthony Davis was very vocal a few days ago saying, you got to get me some help. I need a big man. I need someone to help this lineup out for me to finish out the season the way they're going. Again, the Lakers a little bit more past the halfway point, and for this Laker team to have superstars asking for help, let's see what Rob Pelinka is going to do. We all want to see it. As fans, we want to see it. Again, it goes back to that argument. You can't waste the years that you have a chance to win when you have a LeBron James and Anthony Davis, 2 future Hall of Famers who are doing their job, yet they're saying, you know what, we could use a little bit of help. Not so much worried about draft picks because, in all honesty, those guys are thinking, I'm not going to be around when those draft picks become basically good players. I'm worried about now. I'm worried about my career right now. We'll get into the box score and your comments in just a second. Again, I want to mention the people over at Game Time. Don't forget, Super Bowl is just around the corner. It's going to be exciting. We're 13 days away from the Super Bowl, and with Super Bowl 59, one game, two teams, endless possibilities. There's no better way to make every play more exciting than with FanDuel Sportsbook. Whether it's predicting the first touchdown, calling the MVP of the game, or betting on the coin toss, FanDuel makes it easy to get in on all the action. With live betting all game long, you can adjust your bets as the game unfolds and feel the thrill of kickoff to the final whistle. The live betting app feature will help you get involved in all the action. And the app is super easy to navigate to. Plus, knowing that you can place a $5 bet and potentially win $200 in bonus bets for the Super Bowl, that's icing on the cake. Download the app today. That's FanDuel.com to get started. Bet $5 and you could win. Again, you'll score $200 in bonus bets. That's FanDuel.com. Bet with FanDuel, the official partner of Super Bowl 59. All right, so let's get to what everyone's talking about. Let's get to the comments here. Let's get to what you guys have to say. I'm excited about the Lakers and the way they're playing. I see some of the negatives in there as well, and I'm all for it as well. Okay, so I'm one of those that's, hey, happy we got the win. There's things they did extremely bad, so let's get to the negatives first. Okay, let's get to Craig. Here you go, Craig. Too many turnovers again. Craig, this is what this team does. This team commits a ton of turnovers. That's not championship basketball. I'm with you, Craig, on this. Way too many turnovers. I think I'm just callous to it, of going, this is what it is with this Laker team. They turn the ball over, and hopefully they can sit there and do a better job of it. LeBron James, when he turns the ball over, some of them are moves where I'm like, I wonder if the guy's in the right spot, or if it's LeBron that makes a bad play that can't take responsibility. But there's some frustrating ones. Also, I think at times, as much as I'm a LeBron James fan, there was a pass he made to Max Christie in the corner where he was setting him up for a three, and he threw it right at his ankles. And Max Christie didn't handle it, and the ball goes out of bounds. And LeBron's throwing a fit, throwing his arms in there. He's storming down the court, looking at everybody like, can you believe this guy? It was 100% a bad play on LeBron James. It was a bad pass. Most shooters will tell you, if I can catch anything from my waist up, that puts me in a position to shoot the ball effectively. But to reach down and grab a ball by your ankles, and you aren't expecting a pass by your ankles, it's tough. But the turnovers will kill you. Craig says the team should have won by 15. I agree. BC, he makes a good point. He said they were up 29-6, should have won by 30. BC, you're absolutely right. They should have. They should have won by 30. They should have been able to rest their superstars, and they should have been set to go against the Philadelphia 76ers tomorrow night with guys rested. It's tough enough to be an athlete, get on a plane, check into the hotel, get to the arena, get settled, and then come back with your best effort. We all know back-to-back games in the NBA are extremely tough to win. We all know at the same time it's the Lakers. So when the Lakers come to town, it is a big deal for any team, but especially the teams that play in the Eastern Conference, because they know they're only going to see them once. They know that there are fans that are in their arena who are rooting for the Lakers, and at the same time, it's that Laker resume. The Celtics have the same thing, by the way. If teams can beat the Boston Celtics, they feel the same way. We only see them twice a year, and if you're a fan and you aren't traveling, you see them once a year. So you want to beat teams like the Lakers. You want to beat teams like the Celtics. It's such a difference from those two franchises to everybody else in the NBA. There's always a target as far as let's get up for that game. I don't care how you're feeling. You walk in and the Lakers come to town, it's a big deal. And that's why, the 76ers are going to try with their best effort, their best game tomorrow night. BC, I agree with you. Lakers should have won by 30, and at the same time, we shouldn't be able to rest these guys. All right. So Craig says AD does everything. AD playing great, playing great. Here's an interesting one as well. Capella would be a good fit. Not sure what the right fit is. I was one of those guys that's pushing for someone that could put a ball in the basket a little bit better. Like even bring him back. You're hearing Jordan Clarkson, and I like Jordan Clarkson, but I honestly, I'd like to see Brandon Ingram. If you're going to bring back a former Laker, I'd like to see Brandon Ingram. Julius Randle is rumored to be traded in the next few weeks. That things aren't working out in Minnesota. There's Julius Randle, a guy you'd like to see in a Laker uniform. I love Julius Randle, but I'm not sure he's the right guy for this team. So let's look at the box score of what everybody's talking about here. In 37 minutes, again, Anthony Davis season high in points, 42, season high in rebounds, 23, was great, was absolutely awesome. One of the things that bothers me is when the Lakers need a key basket and Anthony Davis fires up a three. He's just not that guy. He's not that three-point shooter in a crucial situation. And, of course, it doesn't work. Today he went 0 for 2. I'll take it. Free throws, he made 8 of 10, so that gives him 80%. On this Laker team, the 80% is good enough. 4 turnovers for Anthony Davis. Dorian Finney-Smith, who got the start, 6 points in 26 minutes, made 3 of 4 shots. It seemed like it was tough at the beginning when everybody was scoring at such a fast pace that Dorian Finney-Smith wasn't getting his shots, but it didn't seem to really cause a problem because everyone else was picking up the pieces. Dorian Finney-Smith was the last one to actually score for this team. So 6 points, 5 rebounds for him. LeBron, as we mentioned, not the triple-double, but 22 points, 7 rebounds, 8 assists. Only 1 of 8 from three-point range. And I saw people on Twitter saying, why is LeBron shooting up threes? I mean, he has to know, and I think everyone knows who's ever played basketball. There are days where you go, I can't miss, and there are days you're like, this is not my day. And you either think, I'm going to be a passer today, I'm going to drive to the basket, I'm a defense, and I'm going to play, and I'm going to rebound. That's what I'm going to do. LeBron shooting 1 for 8. There should never be a game where a guy shoots 1 for 8 for three-point range. Stop shooting it. It's not your night. You don't have it. You don't have the touch. I mean, some of the shots were terrible shots. Austin Reeves, same thing. Three-point range wasn't his deal tonight. He was only 2 of 8. Finished with 17 points on the night. But Austin Reeves, 17 points, 6 assists, 3 steals. Those 3 steals are big. Also, only 1 turnover for him. And Max Christie, you could see the Lakers' plan. As we said, the Lakers defensively, Max Christie is one of the better defenders on the team. When you look at AD, Max Christie, and Vanderbilt, Max Christie had the responsibility tonight of covering Ball, which is always tough considering he's the 4th leading scorer in the league. Max Christie, 10 points in 39 minutes, 3 assists, solid defender as always. And for the Laker bench, led by Jackson Hayes, which I think was good for the fact that Jackson Hayes doesn't have the best hands. At the same time, he can catch the alley-oop. That you could tell there was certain situations where LeBron was looking for him. AD had faith in him. So to go to a guy that people say offensively isn't exactly up to NBA standards of being elite, which he's far from, the Lakers went to him in crucial situations, and he did okay. 9 points in 17 minutes for Jackson Hayes. Jared Vanderbilt had 4, played 13 minutes. Jared Vanderbilt, for me, I don't want to see him shooting up threes right now. I don't think Jared Vanderbilt offensively is a player that the Lakers can rely on. I'd rather see Vanderbilt play solid defense right now, and unless he's driving to the basket, I'd like to see someone else shoot the ball full safer with him. Shake Milton tonight got in the game. Shake Milton, 12 minutes, 0 points, shot the ball twice, didn't make any of them, and kind of was a person that really wasn't there. And so for Shake Milton, is it one of those where you had to take Shake Milton to get Dorian Finney-Smith? Because right now Shake Milton seems like he's a guy that's not going to help the team out. Dalton Knecht gets in the game, 21 minutes, 1 of 3 shooting. Didn't make 1 shot from three-point range, 2 points. As his shooting is coming back, again, I'll preach it as I do all the time. If he's shooting and he's starting to shoot well or starting to get his touches, keep him in the game, get him shots. To put him back on the bench is one of those where you're, as a player, you're constantly looking over your shoulder. How's he supposed to find a rhythm? And with the lead the Lakers had, I thought it was interesting that they didn't put Dalton Knecht back in the game to kind of build on his confidence. And hopefully, if he's playing, you're giving another guy on the team that needs a rest a chance to kind of tune up for tomorrow night. But not the case, not the way JJ Redick sees it. Cam Reddish, again, doesn't play. Definitely in the doghouse right now with, overall with what's going on with JJ Redick. As I mentioned before, Gabe Vincent, he wasn't able to play. He's expected to be back tomorrow. So is Rui against the 76ers also. LaMelo Ball only played 9 minutes for the Hornets, 7 points. For a guy that averages almost 29 points a game, that will hurt your average for sure. Not very good at all. Miles Bridges, a player that you're hearing all the time that's on the block, 26 points in 37 minutes. And that was kind of your offensive stars for the Hornets. Again, Lakers win 112-107, but it's a game that the Lakers, unless you watch the whole thing and not just looking at the score, this was a game that was extremely close, much closer than it should have been for the Lakers in this situation. So again, a 112-107 win. They will take on the 76ers tomorrow night. I will be back with you tomorrow, but real quick, I'll tell you where the Lakers stand overall. Here we are in the Western Conference. Lakers are the 5th seed right now. Oklahoma City's still 1, Houston 2, Memphis 3, Denver 4, and the Lakers are the 5th seed right now. They're a game and a half back behind the Denver Nuggets, and again, they're chasing. So the Lakers have won 4 straight games, looking for the 5th straight win tomorrow. Again, it's a busy time for Laker basketball, and for right now, you're pleased where they're at, but at the same time, is there room to grow and be better? I look at the teams that are behind them that I worry about. Yeah, we're chasing teams like the Nuggets, Grizzlies, Rockets, Thunder, but Minnesota, you expect them to really become an elite team again, right? The Phoenix Suns, with all the talk that Jimmy Butler is going to be added to that team. Who knows? Jimmy Butler's situation is a complete mess, but the Phoenix Suns, not much of a bench, but they're willing to do it with all these future Hall of Famers. Kind of worried about Minnesota and Phoenix, who are right behind the Lakers in the standings. Not so much worried about Sacramento and the Dallas Mavericks. Don't forget, Dallas, once they get Luka back, are going to be a different team. Dallas right now was a top 3 team, has now fallen all the way to number 10. But when they get Luka back, watch out. Also, Golden State not in it. What does it mean for the Warriors as well? So here we are. Lakers get the win. Most importantly, not exactly pretty, but it works. Okay, it works. Lakers win tonight, 112-107 over the Charlotte Hornets. We'll be back tomorrow night. It's a 4:30 Pacific time tip-off as the Lakers try and take on the 76ers and beat the 76ers. Looking forward to that game and looking forward to talking basketball with you as well. Appreciate the comments as well for you guys who are tuning in. Craig, BC, count on you guys every single night. Looking forward to seeing what you guys have to say. Again, you can follow Brian and Andy every single day talking Laker basketball. I'm here with you for the postcast. But again, Lakers win 112-107. We'll see you tomorrow night as they take on the 76ers. These shows are heard anywhere you get your podcast, again, on the Locked On Los Angeles network, and again, Locked On Lakers as well. Have a good night, everybody.